Fearless Gamers? Matt here for Fearless Games, and today I'm going to be doing another Forge World unboxing. This time it's going to be the Zone Mortalis box set and the Horus Heresy character series Fulgrim. So, not going to waste any more time with, babbling on, so we're just going to jump right in and see what these things look like. Okay, so to save on time, I already cut open the boxes for these, but these are what the Zone Mortalis pieces come in. And so we open them up, and here is the first one. This is the U-shape Zone Mortalis piece. As you can see, it already comes black, which is great. You don't have to prime it, just start painting right away. And there's the piece, and just the detail on these things. I mean, look at all that stuff. There's different hallways, there's the corridor pieces, all the little detail in there. And what I like is also it's very plain and generic. There's a little keypad there for like some monitoring system or communication system. There's a little cable there. And what I like about it is it's very generic. This could be an underground base, a spaceship. It could be pretty much whatever you want it to be. And what's neat is how you can, the way that the pieces are turned out, you can turn this in 360 degrees, and it will be able to work with the other sets and make a playable field. There's no like wrong way to set the field up. And so we got the next piece here. This is, I bought the kit. This is the T-junction right here. I did buy the kit, which gets you 4 of these guys. That makes a 2x2 field, good for like 500-point games. And so we got this. Again, more nice, beautiful detail pieces. They even throw in the detail of like what's in the walls, which is really cool. And little bulkhead pieces like right there. And it's just real, and they're extremely light because they're hollow, which is really cool here. And it doesn't have any release agent on it, or at least it doesn't feel like it, so it seems like these would be a real breeze to paint. And just the big question is what do I paint them? Like, that's going to be the hard part for me, is picking the color piece for it. And here's the next one. This is the L-shaped piece. There it is. Nice big wide open room, which is great. I plan to use this for games because Zone Mortalis is a lot of fun. I played it once, and I enjoyed it a lot. And so I bought the Zone Mortalis set so I could run my own Zone Mortalis games. And look at that, there's a little grate right there. It's awesome. Again, just ridiculous detail in these pieces. Like, that's one thing, gotta hand it to Forge World. They put the same amount of effort into everything that they make. And it's just so beautiful looking when you put them all together. And then we've got the 4-way junction. And so it is. And next thing they'll have to get is some doors and another set so I can do a 2x4 table. But what's neat is, so I can take this piece, interlock it there, and then it's set, or I can do this. It makes a hallway, or again, do this, make another hallway, or flip this way, make it be this big room that comes through here, or like I said, do this way, flip another way. So as you can see, as I just did, there was no one way to flip this where it didn't work. Every direction that I put these guys in, they worked out. So that's one thing, they really figured out a way to make the pieces work regardless of how you set them up. And those are really awesome. I can't wait to sit down and paint them and start running more games with Zone Mortalis and stuff like that. So now we're going to move on to the second thing that I purchased, which was a Horus Heresy character series. This is Fulgrim. He comes in this nice display box here. It makes you feel like you're buying some piece of jewelry or something, or a watch. Really cool. And it's got Horus Heresy on it. It is wrapped in plastic. I did take that off before the recording. And then we just open this up. And we got this card with Fulgrim. And then here it puts some notes on some of the tinier pieces, it looks like, with this. For components, descriptions, for constructions, Fulgrim, please go to... Oh, apparently they have a PDF for how to build Fulgrim. Interesting, I'll have to check that out later. And so we open this up, we got our display stand, which is a Terminator-based stand. And speaking of, we got the two display pieces that sit there. And they clamp together like that. And from what I can see here, is you can't glue these two pieces together, or else you'll never get Fulgrim in or out of it. So you're going to have to probably set up some magnets to snap these together. That way they get in. There it is. Look at all that. All those dead Space Marines. Really sick looking. Like, these guys are definitely worth the money with just like how much effort they put into making these things look gorgeous. And then we've got part of Fulgrim's cape right here. And then we got his sword, a leg for one of the Iron Warriors, his little bunch of little belts and things, his sword and his head. There you go. It's really cool looking. Then we've got his hand. That giant eagle wing, which is crazy. One thing, I just love how decorative his armor is. Then we've got more of those ribbon things. I don't know what they're called. Well, I know what they're calling them. I don't know how to pronounce it. These little hook things that go on some of the ends of his belts. Those are going to be a pain in the butt to put on. The rest of his cape. And so when these two you connect them to by putting that peg into that slot, and then bam, it becomes his full cape there. We got what looks like the end of his sword, his gun, the gun that he has on his hip, the end of this flag piece that goes on his stand, some combat knives for him, and a bolt pistol for one of the dead Space Marines. We got a backpack for one of the dead Space Marines and Emperor's Children flag stand. And then we've got these little extra bits that have to be glued onto him. One of them looks like it did break, but thankfully the piece is still in there, and it's not too complicated a part, so I'm not going to make a big stink about it. There's his base stand. It's really cool looking. What I really love is skulls. Like, I love skulls on models because they always look really cool, and I just like seeing these really well detailed and well done skull pieces on miniatures. I don't know why, but I just really like them. His Terminator stand, his regular stand for when he's in game, and there's his body. Crazy Fulgrim. So he's fairly complete in that sense. I thought he was going to be, a torso and his legs at least, but nah. He's got, looks like a small little hole on the bottom of his foot, but nothing too big. Little green stuff, and that's fine. But like all the detail on there is just crazy ridiculous. There's the gem. Oh, no, that's not a gem piece. There's the double-headed eagle thing. I forget the name of it. Escapes my mind right now. A little 3rd Legion icon. Different pieces there. And now if we compare him to, say, a regular size Space Marine, from like his heel, he's about a head taller. Almost he's fairly tall compared to one Space Marine. He's about roughly, I'd say, 2 heads taller than a Space Marine. Roughly. Yeah, roughly 2 heads taller than a Space Marine is. So you really get to see a nice view of how tall these guys were compared to regular Space Marines, which is neat. It's really cool just to see these guys finally captured in a model. And just like the way they look is really awesome. So now, for the most part, I'm just afraid of painting this thing because I'm just, I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do the purple and gold on him, and I'm just worried about just screwing up the whole thing. So I'm probably not going to paint this for a while. Chances are Fulgrim probably be, the last model I ever paint. It's probably going to be one of those scenarios where I've painted everything else in my collection. I have nothing, there's absolutely nothing else that I could paint except for him. Then I'll probably go and paint him. And at that point, there'll probably be 2 or 3 more Primarchs in my collection, and then I'll have to decide which one I'm going to do first. If it gets down to that, chances are, unless he's not out yet, it'll be the Lion will be the first one I'll do, because I can paint the Lion up pretty well. Since he's fairly easy, since at that point he would just be all black, I believe. Unless Forge World decides to say that he wore green, but if he follows the Legion color patterns, he would be black, so that would be the easiest one to paint. But that is neither here nor there right now. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and so until next time, fearless gamers, take care.